Hey friends, welcome back to Acre Homestead. My name is Becky and today we are going to be trying to keep our chickens alive. It's supposed to be 115 degrees here. No matter where you are in the country, that's hot. But for Washington, I live in Southwest Washington, just north of Portland, Oregon, in Zone 8B. And 115 degrees has never happened here. That's going to be a record high. The record high in this city that I live in is 109. So we're going to be breaking records today. And this is only my second summer having chickens. And I know that's too hot for them. Yesterday, it got to 106 or 104. And I didn't lose a chicken, but I know that's going to be even hotter today. And I asked you guys on Instagram, what do I need to do to keep my chickens alive? So if you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me over there. It's super easy to communicate with me on Instagram. And you guys gave me a ton of fantastic ideas. We're gonna go ahead and implement some of those today. And I wanna give you guys what those ideas are so that we can just make sure the chickens are as healthy as possible and stay alive through this extremely hot heat wave. Right now, I'm heading to the grocery store to pick up some frozen vegetables. That was one of the ideas, was to give them frozen food. And already this morning, I kind of cleaned out my freezer to find what vegetables were kind of freezer burnt and looking a little sketch. And I gave them those this morning. But it's already like 90 degrees outside right now and it's only 11. And so I need to go buy some more because we're kind of right before the big harvest. I really don't have that many frozen vegetables in my freezer right now. So I'm gonna run to the store to pick up cheap frozen vegetables for them. And then I'm also gonna go get some water jugs. Another fantastic idea you guys had was to freeze some gallon jugs and just put those in their coop so that they have a little bit of coolness around them. And tomorrow I have to work, so I'm not gonna be able to be home to rotate them. And my husband, he is gonna come home from work and he's actually gonna rotate them for me. So it's another thing I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna get it all set up for him. He works just 4 minutes from our house, so that I can tell him he's gonna come home 2 times, in the mid-morning and in the mid-afternoon, so that he can give them some more frozen veg and he can switch out the water jugs. So just hang out with me today as we work through this and make sure the chickens survive this heat wave. It already says it's 106 in my car, so I think earlier when I told you it was in the 90s, I think it was actually hotter than that. So I just ran to Walmart, and Walmart did not have any blocks of ice, which that was another thing I wanted because it's so hot right now. I wanted to get some blocks of ice because it's gonna take a while for my bottled water to freeze. So they were completely out. I'm gonna run to a QFC. I bought 7 bags of frozen peas, I think. I bought 4 bags of frozen broccoli, and I bought 4 jugs of water. Between the jugs I already have at home and the jugs I just bought, that's 8 total jugs. So that will give us a good rotation, hopefully. I need to get gas. Oh my gosh, now it says it's 107. It's so hot, and I'm wearing jeans. So this morning, my sister and I filmed a video together, which was really fun. We made homemade vanilla. I don't know which video is gonna come out first, but if it's out, I'll link it up here and in the description box. Or you can subscribe and see it when it comes out, if it's not out yet. So I put on like nice clothes for the video. I thought I would dress up for you guys. And I just ran out of my house as soon as we were done filming so that I could get these items because my chickens are priority. We got the goods. I have 2 bags of frozen ice here. They didn't have block ice like I wanted, so I just went ahead and bought 2 bags of frozen ice. Frozen ice. 2 bags of ice cubes. And they were $4 each. So, oh yeah, they're hot. Okay, so let me show you what I already got going on over here. I have some huge cardboard boxes. I went ahead and put the cardboard boxes on top of their coop so that they're in 100% shade. This area only gets about 4 hours of sun a day on it. Right now it is that time. They are panting, so I'm gonna go run inside and get them a bucket, and they're all getting dunked in some water. Here, and I've just got a tote here. This is actually the tote we keep our ski boots in, but it's gonna have to be repurposed for just a little bit. I'm just gonna fill it up with some hose water. I made sure that I ran the hose long enough so that the water that was in the hose isn't hot. So this water is cool. It's not crazy cold, but it's not super hot. So this will be a good temperature, I think. So do you see how they have their mouths open? They are definitely warm. So they are all gonna get dunked in some water. They're gonna hate me for it, but sometimes you gotta do what you don't wanna do to keep them safe. Come here. I feel bad. I feel nice. She doesn't seem to mind it so much. So I've never told the story of this chicken on YouTube before. It was on Instagram. She's not doing very good. I'm gonna bring her inside after I cool her off a little bit. So this is little Bo Peep. I was at work and my husband was working from home, and he gets a knock on the door. The neighbor's there and he's like, I think my dog may have attacked your chicken. And we don't really know the whole story. We don't know if the dog, our neighbor's dog, got into our yard or our chicken got into our neighbor's yard, because we only have a 5-foot fence that separates the two, and the chickens can hop over. Normally they're locked up in a chicken coop unless I'm home, but they had dug out of the chicken coop. I didn't know chickens could do that, but they did. And my husband says, is the chicken alive? And the neighbor's like, I don't know. And the neighbors, normally their dog is completely enclosed, but they had a cable guy out, and the cable guy had left the fence open. So that's why I'm saying we don't know if the dog got into our yard or our chicken got into the dog's yard. My husband goes over there and the little Bo Peep looks dead, and he scoops her up and rushes her home, and he calls me multiple times on the phone, and I don't answer because I'm in the middle of cleaning somebody's teeth. He normally doesn't call me at work. I had a second. The patient had to run up to use the restroom, and so I checked my phone. If my husband calls me that many times at work, I know there's something wrong. So I tell my patient, I think there's an emergency. I go run and call my husband, and he tells me what's happened. Little Bo Peep had a hole about this big in her back through her lung tissue. He had punctured one of her lungs, and she lost almost all her tail feathers, broke a wing, and had some pretty serious injuries. He's not sure what to do. I'm not sure what to do. He doesn't know if he should put her down or not. And that's a really hard thing to do when these are not just chickens, they're kind of our pets as well. And I call my mom and I say, I can't talk to Josh right now, but can you please call him and help him? So my mom, and I tell her what happened. So she's Googling vets, like chicken vets, and she couldn't find any in the area. The closest chicken vet around here is about an hour away. And my husband knew that if he tried to drive her to a vet, she wouldn't make it, because he could hear the air passing from her lung and into her body cavity. It was coming in and out, and he was holding his thumb on her lung to keep it closed so she wouldn't just die. And so I tell work I have to leave because there's an emergency at home. So I leave. Between me leaving work and getting home, my husband has Googled how to repair this. Apparently this is a really common injury for chickens when they get bit by dogs. They get bit on their back right underneath their wing, and that's right where their lungs are, and they typically puncture a lung. And the website says chickens are pretty resilient. The only treatment is to super glue the lung tissue together, super glue the skin tissue together, keep it as clean as possible. This was in the middle of winter, so it was below freezing outside, and so she ended up living in our house for about 8 weeks, and she's totally fine. But when I was out there just putting her in some water, she was not doing well. And I just had this thought, if she was that tough to live through that, and then she doesn't make it through this heat wave, I could not live with myself. So this chicken, again, is now an inside chicken. She's gonna be inside for the next couple days, figure something out. She doesn't look like she's moving too much. I have her in front of the air conditioner. We don't have air conditioning in our house either. We just have these. I'm grateful to have them, because right now if I wanted to go buy one of these, there's no shot that there's any air conditioners in my area. And then when I came inside, I couldn't find my husband, so I call him. I'm like, where are you? Because I wanted to tell him how little Bo Peep was doing. And he's out in the shop figuring out a misting situation, because we need to get some misters on them, because it's just too dang hot. So he takes really good care of these chickens. He didn't want these chickens, these are my chickens, but he sure does know how to take care of them. And he definitely saved this bird. And this bird is not gonna die because of a heat wave. This bird is gonna die of old age. So she is gonna be just in my dining room. Hopefully she doesn't start walking around in my kitchen, but I have a feeling she just needs to be right here, right in front of that air conditioner, and just cool her core temperature down. Okay, I think we have a great solution here. Look at this. So in a matter of about 30 minutes, my husband came out and he built from scratch a misting system. He has one mister here and one mister there. And he built this whole thing. I mean, look at this. This is incredible. It's not gonna be super efficient long term. He's gonna have to do something because it's leaking and all that's not perfect, but it's gonna keep my chickens alive. He put this V here so I can still go water my garden at the same time. And I mean, look at this. I can't tell you how he did it. I can just tell you I'm grateful he did it, because if he hadn't built this, I think I would have had to call into work and dunk my chickens, but that wasn't a super efficient thing. I stopped filming that because it got too much, but I did learn something. If you actually just set them in there and kind of let them be, they actually really enjoyed it, and they would kind of open their arms up and let the water go under their wings and kind of cool their body a little bit. And it really did help, but it didn't help very long, because I was out here for about that 30 minutes he was putting this together, and I just kept rotating. By the time I got one in there and I went back to the first one that I had just done, they were basically dry, because they dry so quickly. So I think they're doing really well. I do still have two that are panting in there, so I'm gonna try to get them underneath that mister. Another thing I did was I'm putting this ice right in front of their food, so they have to stand on it. See this one? Oh, she just was panting for just a second. Oh, she is a little bit, see? She's standing on this ice, which is gonna keep her body a little bit cooler, I think. And then that's their water. So I have to change that pretty frequently because they make it dirty. Normally, there's some nipple waterers right here. The 7-gallon waterer that attaches to this is way too hot. That water is way too hot. Now the water that's sitting in there is from the misters, but if they were to drink the water from that, it'd be way too hot. So it looks like they're enjoying these strawberries, which is great. Those are frozen strawberries. And that hot one, which is her, she's the only one that's still panting right now, was standing on this. So hopefully when I leave, she'll stand back on that. This is a big lesson of trying to have some systems in place before. I don't know what I was thinking. Just from here looking at them, I think they are doing so much better. And as long as they're doing okay at 5 p.m., I think they'll be okay with my husband coming home in the morning and in the afternoon to take care of them. But if it doesn't feel like it's enough, then I will probably call in and not be able to go to work tomorrow. All right, while I'm out here, I'm gonna tell you what else I have going on. Out here, it is so hot, so I'm gonna be walking inside as I talk. I have all the sprinklers I just turned on for the 3rd time today because I can see things are already starting to be affected quite a bit. Now, one thing that's doing really well is my calendula. They seem to be super happy, so I am gonna harvest this calendula. These are the flowers I just went out and picked, and I'm just gonna try to lay them on this tray so that we can take advantage of this nice heat and the breeze that's happening right now. I've been telling my husband that I am gonna make pizza for the last like 4 days, and I haven't because he keeps wanting to go buy pizza. And I keep being like, no, I'll make pizza. But I keep forgetting. And today I was like, oh, you can have this leftovers for dinner. And he's like, I thought you were making pizza. And I was like, oh, shoot. So I just made pizza dough. And one good thing about it being really hot out here, I'm gonna go ahead and proof my pizza dough right out here. Just gonna put this damp cloth over it to keep it from drying out. I probably should not be making pizza because it's so hot. But we do have the air conditioners on and it is staying fairly cool in here. And I keep promising him that. And we're not gonna go get pizza. All right, let's get this pizza made. It proofed beautifully outside. I should have done this first. I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of some parchment paper. Sorry about the shadows. We're gonna just liberally spread that out. I have a little bit of cornmeal here. I buy my cornmeal in bulk. If you wanna watch a bulk grocery haul, I have one. I'm doing this on parchment because I'm gonna transfer this to a pizza stone in the oven. And it's a whole lot easier if you do it on parchment paper. This is some homemade rhubarb barbecue sauce. We're gonna make a barbecue chicken pizza today. If you wanna watch this recipe, I also have this one. I'll link it up here and down below if you're interested. We're just gonna put that on there. The reason I put the cornmeal on is because it helps it not stick to the parchment, and it also adds a nice little crunch. I didn't film making this dough because I literally just made it up as I went. I didn't follow a recipe. So I'm doing 2 pizzas at once so we have enough for dinner and lunches. And then I had some cilantro that was looking a little wilty, so I figured we'll put that on here now. And then one other reason I like to cook a lot at once is this is some chicken, and I cooked it up the other night, and we're just gonna throw that on here. I just chopped it up. The only cheese we have in our house right now is Monterey Jack, so that's what we're gonna use, which is nice because it's a melty cheese. I normally like to put a mixture of cheeses on my pizza, but we're gonna work with what we have. And I went ahead and shredded, I had 3/4 of a block, and since I was shredding, I just shredded the whole block. My husband turned the oven on for me, and I have a cast iron. This is an extra large cast iron that I use as a pizza stone. I think I rolled my pizza out a little too big, but that's okay. I may have gotten distracted and forgot about the pizzas, so hopefully they're not burnt. They're a little crispy, but they'll be good. No soggy bottoms around here. Oh, shoot. Well, this one is not salvageable. I don't usually set timers. I'm really bad about that, but I usually catch it. Normally I would go upstairs and work upstairs, but I've just been sitting here working on my 2021 and my 2022 calendar because I'm getting so excited. I have so many video ideas and I'm trying to write them down and put them in here. And I'm actually gonna be gone for 2 weeks in August, so I'm really trying to be organized, which is very difficult for me. I'm more organized like in my head. I'm not super good about putting things on paper. Even when I was in college, I rarely put anything down, but I have all these video ideas and I don't want to forget them, so I'm trying to actually put them in here. But I was sitting so focused and I just completely forgot about the pizza, and I'm really embarrassed. It's the first time I'm cooking pizza for you and I burnt it because I do make usually pretty good pizza. It drives my husband crazy that I don't set timers, but I just never have. And I hardly ever, I can't even remember the last time I burnt something. And technically I could just not show you that I made pizza today, but I'm trying to be real with you guys. So I will show you guys how to make pizza and not burn it in the future. But for now, I just made chicken food, I guess. It's not like a total waste, but it's just one, it's really embarrassing that I burnt it for you guys for the first time. And 2, I'm really bummed because that was gonna be my husband's lunch. And 3, I turned the oven on, which is heating the room. So it's just like a bummer. Now this one is salvageable, but that's definitely way more well done than I typically make my pizzas. So just trying to be real with you guys. I hope you guys have a great night and I'll see you next time.